Hi, welcome to Wild Cottage. As you can hear, I'm sick, so here are some things I recorded for you a little bit earlier. Enjoy!
These are all my whips, and there are, actually this one is no longer a whip. So let's take that away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now, let me just quit. I'm not going to go into all these in depth, but quickly, this is not technically a whip yet. This is me practicing some of my crochet stitches to relearn. I only know a few simple ones. I'm relearning them. And then I'm probably going to do a small granny square lap blanket with that. So that will be a whip. This is going to be a whip. Well, actually it is because I cast on. This is the Galway Blanket Club with Carol Feller and Stolen Stitches. So actually it is a whip. There are going to be, I think, for the lap blanket size that I got, 8 or 9 squares. And 3 are released every 2 weeks. So they just got released. So I'll start on that. So this wool, to card it, spin it, and then make some mitts. And this is the Cladoir, the rare breed. This is washed. Water for washing the wool, because we don't have hot water as normal at the cottage. So this is the pain of washing wool for me, is that I don't have a laundry sink and hot water. So boiling some water here and in the kettle, and then we will start washing that Cladoir wool outside. Okay, so unfortunately, just the way the cottage hot water situation is, this is like lukewarm water, but really you'd like your water to be warmer than that. And I'm just adding some dishwashing liquid. I don't have any fancy sheep scour, but it's usually fine. A lot of people use like Dawn dishwashing liquid, things that will break up the grease. And in the other video, you saw Susanna and I skirting the fleece. So this is the Cladoir fleece. You can zoom in and have a little look. And it's really pretty quite clean, and this is going to be fairly nice to wash. If the water had been very hot, I had a convenient stick to poke it and swish it around. So I'm just going to, you can see the water change color immediately. So, and I also have a suet bath, but I haven't used it for a couple years, so it's probably, I haven't actually used it for 2 years, I think. So I still have it, but it's probably not active. And a suet bath is where you get a very dirty fleece, you don't skirt it, and you put it in a tub with water and cover it, so like, and you leave it out in the sun to get really warm, and the bacteria ferments it in a way, and then it just makes it a really good way to scour your fleece if you don't have hot water, especially like me. It's good for the very first wash, but it can smell. Now if it smells like a sewer, then that's the wrong kind of bacteria. I can't remember how long you leave it, but you can look it up online for it to get active, and then you just stick your fleece in there and the natural bacteria will break down a lot of the dirt, and then you can just give it a wash, and that way you don't have to, generally what I found, you don't have to wash it so many times. Yeah, so especially if you're trying to not boil a lot of water or use a lot of hot water, that's a good way. So I'm just trying to be, look at this, look at the color that's come up already. See, this is a really, really white breed of fleece. When Lisa of Soulful Spinning was spinning, she washed, I sent her a sample. It was a very, very rough sample, not nice like this one actually, but that's all we had at the time. She remarked on how white it became. So I will drain this out and then do another wash of it. in case you're interested, this, I don't know if this is available in your country. This is just what we use. It is 100% biodegradable. So what I do with the water after I've washed, I put it onto the garden, the flowers. Now, let me stick this in here. This batch is a bit hotter, which is good. And just gently putting it in, not to felt it. I'm not putting any of this water on the vegetables, simply because I don't know the provenance of this fleece. I mean, beyond that it's, you know, from one of the Cladoir people. I don't know if they do sheep dip or anything like that, if they're treating with any sort of anything. So because I don't know about that, I'm not going to put it on my vegetables just in case. But yeah, so I'm just going to pop this fleece in here now after it's had its first, you know, preliminary bath, and I'm going to let it sit and soak and get, look, so this is that's a bit, I mean, look how white this fleece is. It's a beautiful white fleece. Yeah, I know there's some bubbles in it, but still, even you can hardly see the difference in that white tub, and that's a white tub. So, yep. So we'll just let this soak for about 20 minutes or half an hour. Now this is definitely not a tutorial. I actually haven't washed any fleece myself for about 2 years. Just because of it's kind of a palaver, and I do have a lot of fleeces to wash. And as of yet, there's not a dedicated washing facility in Ireland. I know Cushendale washes the fleeces that come to them on the premises that they spin, but that's, you know, you can't just rock up there with some fleeces and say, will you wash these for me, because it's a small mill. But anyway, so I'm going to wash this and let that soak, and then we will come back and have a wee look at what we're doing. And this is just how I'm doing it, just to kind of show you the story of bringing the Cladoir fleece from the very raw, rough fleece of the sheep to the skirting, the washing, the prepping of, like, if I'm going to card it, the spinning, and then the knitting. Some of it I will dye with natural dyes, but probably not right now, because I'm kind of have a time constraint to get this ready for a gathering. Spin that up and make some lovely mitts out of the Cladoir rare Irish breed, and that's going to be part of Carrie of My Wool Mittens spin along. Mittens in May. I'm going to be a little bit late, but as per usual. So I started the year, I think I had 16 or 17 whips. This is definitely carried over. This is Tom's Christmas jumper or sweater for Christmas last year. And this is a woolen pine pattern, which I can't remember the name of right now. But you weave in different colors of scraps in different places, wherever you like, and they help you choose where in the pattern, what way you want to do it. So that's held over. This is held over, also a Christmas present project with, it is Dash sweater by Midori Hirose, and I had to rip back, so I think that's my swatch. I ripped back because I was tootling along at a great knots, and then I realized I'd skipped a whole bunch of the pattern. And so, yeah, so this is Donegal yarns, Donegal Studio yarns, and then this is the lovely Wool Dreamers. It's their organic merino, and for the main color is a lovely gift from my lovely friend Amy, who I met in person for the first time last year. This is it here, and it is a hand dyed by Emma's Yarns, and they're worsted and the hammered colorway, and it's a superwash merino there, DK. So I have got to, that just went in the naughty corner when I realized what I had done. I don't think it'd be too hard to fix it. And I'm not super far along if I have to rip back even farther. So these are definitely from last year. This is from the beginning of the year. This is in a beautiful, beautiful bag, knit. made for me by Patsy in Australia. And I've talked about this bag a lot. Whether or not it's ever made it to upload, I don't know. She sent me just some out of blue lovely gifts. I really treasure this bag. And this bird is a native Australian bird called the silver eye. And I just get such a kick out of it because these greens are all dyed from my garden plants, but they don't quite show up true. This is showing up fairly true, but the rest of these are greens and not browns, and they're a lot prettier than they look there. But this is my cutting edge vest patterned by Albina McLaughlin here in Ireland, and all I have to do is do the steek for the V-neck and the sleeves, the armholes. And there are a lot of options with this pattern. You can do it different ways. I'm going to do the V-neck. I'm probably going to needle felt it and to steek it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Do you know that way? Sometimes you're like, oh, it's off the needles. Well, I have to finish this band and all once I steek it. But you're like, oh, it's off the needles. And then you're like, kind of filed it away as being done in your mind. I wish these colors would show up, because I think it's prettier than that. I mean, with the greens. But so that really just needs to be done. What else is a holdover from last year? Well, this is a holdover from 2 years ago, because this is the Hybrid Knit Along from Stephen West for 2021, which you cast on right after Christmas. And I'm doing this in some beautiful giddy yarns, and then I'm holding them all together with some Serdar Snuggly. And this is the cabled trellis shawl. So I'm going to start working on this. This really needs to be done. I really want the shawl as well. So this is a priority. My test knit for Athena, the pine and fur sweater, is definitely a priority. I'm on the body, you can see now. I did a clip with me in it. It's so gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. I actually think it would be really, really lovely as a short sleeve as well. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm so proud of myself doing this pattern. The pattern was super clear. But I mean, I'm just proud that I did all these cables. I'm doing this in just plain old Wrens wool, 100% non-superwash from Hobie. So that's a priority. Also, so we talked about that. I want to keep up with that. So I'm going to do those squares. Also, we have here, this is from the beginning of the year. This is a cast on to be socks for Tom in the Naken pattern. It's a Swedish word from Amelia of Emelian Style. It's a little color work pattern based on a legend, a Swedish legend and mythology. And I'm going to do there are musical notes in it, and Tom is a musician, so I'm going to do the musical notes in this color blue amongst the pattern yarn that I got. I actually won this in a giveaway from Athena of Seedling Stitch, who is the designer of this pattern, before I'd ever test knit from her or anything. So I'm excited to do that. It's kind of an experiment to see will the color work show up okay or not. But I want to do that. But first I need to finish the porcelain socks, also from Athena of the Seedling Stitch. They're based on the Chinese pottery. And I started that. That's a toe up, so that's a new thing for me. I mentioned it in my other April's podcast. So I'd like to finish that. I'd like to finish this in June. I'd like to finish this in May. And as I'm speaking to you right now, it is the 24th. So, I'd like to finish it this month or not long after. And I'd like to finish this by the end of July, working in tandem with other things. I also cast on a second Tankar Tee, which is a test knit I did for Ananina. I think you say it Tankar, because again, that's a Finnish word. It's a Finnish island. And I'm doing this out of an Irish yarn, Irish Artisan Yarns. I've never actually knit with their yarns yet. This is the first time, and this is a 65 superwash merino, 20 bamboo, 15 silk. And it's a 350 meters, so it's a sport weight 4-ply. And I am just adapting the pattern a little bit for a lighter weight because it's done in the DK. I absolutely love the pattern, so I'm making a second one. So I'd like to finish that in June as well. I think I can because it doesn't take long. This is a very long-term whip that I'm very sorry that I have not been working on. I want to give this as a gift to somebody. And it's going to be that, I don't know how to say this. This is a Maori word, te wahuna. It's a very special pattern from Maori, and I always enjoy foil art on YouTube. And she is Maori heritage. And when I saw this pattern come up and all the different meanings it talks about, I just wanted to make that for her. So I talked with her and she chose the colors. And I just haven't got very far on it yet. I told her it would be a long time, but I didn't think it would be this long. So I really want to set myself to knit a couple rows on this every day. So that's an important one that I'd like to have done by Christmas. This is last year, 2022, the Hybrid Knit Along. And I have this in a variety of yarns. Some of them are Irish for sure. I think one is from Alexandra of November Woods Fiber Company, but she's no longer dyeing wool. But that's special. So I want to finish that, but after I finish 2021's version. Then I'm working on the Lightning Thigh Goat Leggings from Nicole of Time Weaver. I'm kind of treating that as a blanket pattern. There's no rush on that. I'm just finishing up the short rows, and then it's really mostly, splitting for the two legs, and then it's just going to be round and round. So that's would be a good mindless thing. So yeah, these are my whips. So I have gone down. How many did we count? So 14 down from, I think it was 17. And of course I've added along the way, like I added test knits, as you do. So I would dearly love to have everything done by the start of the year. I'd like to have a lot done in time for the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along in October, because I don't want to have any other projects on for that. So we will see. We will see how I do. But I might make up a little plan and see how far I get. So, baby wrens have fledged this year again in the barn. And just like last year, they're, hanging out in the barn tweeting at us. They're so cute. So Tom is just coming to get me as I was filming my whip parade. Let's see.
Let me just bring you to the past for a moment to show you the babies in the nest. Okay, back to where we started.
I can't see it. Flew out. Oh, back. Hello, baby.
Not a good place for a bird. Stay.
So tiny.
I would give you a little wee look when I think I say sometimes that I knit with a lot of Irish yarns and Irish indie dyed, Irish also like just Irish spun with Irish wool and combination with another wool and just Irish wool that, has been hand spun or whatever. But just for an example, I put all my sort of summery colors in this tub. Let's just, for example, if we just look at this is Irish. This is a combination of Babbles, which is Irish, and Lola Bean, which is Irish. Hedgehog's Fiber, Irish. Life in the Long Grass, Irish. There, this is Finely Fibres, which is Irish. More Life on the Long Grass, which is Irish. Corcra, which is Irish. Vera Yarns Design, which is Irish. So like Wild Atlantic Yarns, which is Irish. And here we have more Vera Yarns Designs, more Vera Yarns Designs, more Finely Fibre. So it's easier to say not Irish, not Irish. Oh, that's Babbles. So that's Irish, actually. This is Irish. Lonely Mountain Yarns, that's Irish. So these are not Irish. 1, 2, 3, 4. Part of that is not 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of all these skeins, that's not Irish. That was something I got at a thrift shop in the US. And that's a Hobie yarn, so that's not Irish, and that's not Irish. But easily in this tub, at least 75% is Irish. And that's probably typical for a lot of my hand-dyed stash, especially because, yeah, it's more affordable. Irish hand-dyed yarn, and of course so I am very excited. I have another tub like this with the autumn colors in it, and so I'm very excited to show you all my little spotlights on Irish yarn